Everything okay?
I'm sorry, sir, but you need to get back to your car.
Anybody hurt?
A couple of injuries, but nothing serious.
It's the Solarano Sci-fi podcast.
Hello! Martin always gives a big hello at the beginning of his introduction. So, hello everybody! This is episode 182 of the Solar One Sci-Fi podcast. I'm Michael Ball. I'm joined once again by the demigod of knowledge, the deep thought, the grand negus of science fiction inspiration across the life, across the universe and everything. By the gods of science fiction, it's Martin Fowler. How's that for an introduction, Martin?
Hello, how is everyone? And how are you this week?
Fine, thank you. Very good. We're recording this on the Monday, which is fine, and it's sunny here. There's a weird, strange sort of ball in the sky. Somebody said it's called a star, the sun. So I've not seen it for 6 months, so it's nice. It's actually... What's it like where you are at the moment?
It's very blue, it's very bright and freezing.
Yeah, it's a bit warmer. It's a bit warmer.
Yeah, it just needs to be warmer, and
right.
I think it'd be okay. But I think we're getting there.
Well, it's very soon May, so it should be by now.
Right.
So what have you been up to since I last talked to you? Anything good?
What have I been up to? Oh, you've got me there. I forgot what I've been up to. I've been up to loads of shit.
Oh, I know. I don't know if you want to share it, but you showed me something that you got your end, which looked really cool.
Yeah, no, I bought one of them one-up arcade machines.
Oh, I've got a tabletop which is the same, but
Yeah.
not a proper arcade machine.
Oh no, it's not a proper one. It's same size as one.
All right,
It's like a remake.
Is it like a ROM emulator, like MAME?
No, it's made by a licensed company called One Up Arcade.
Okay, and so what does it actually have on it?
It's got 10 games. It's the size of a cabinet, almost, just a few inches shorter.
Okay.
And it's got Gallagher, Galaxian, Miss Pac-Man, all Pac-Man games, Joust, and some other games.
Brilliant.
But it comes on a riser, so when it stands like 6 foot tall, you
Brilliant.
can stand in front of it doing the whole thing, yeah.
So,
I was after the Star Wars one.
Oh, what, the original 80s game?
Yeah, with the steering wheel.
Yeah, they had that. They had two. They had the original and the Empire Strikes Back as well. I loved those, playing those as a kid.
Well, it's a company called One Up Arcade. They're worth looking at.
Right. Okay.
They've got the license for all these classic games, so they create slightly smaller video cabinets.
Yeah, but I know
cabinets.
what they have in them though. They do have ROM emulators inside the actual.
Probably, yeah.
And what they do is, so you normally you'll press a button, which is like you're putting the coin in the slot, and that'd be like hit start or whatever. And it's because you can get this for free online. You can. What you are allowed technically, you are allowed to have emulators, but you shouldn't be playing the ROMs unless you pay for them technically. Although a lot of people do it.
Well, this is licensed. I did look at.
Yeah, if it's licensed.
I did look at these companies that sell it's like it's like a half-sized one,
right?
With with all buttons and art on it, and they've got 5,000 games, but they're not licensed.
Exactly.
And if that breaks down,
yeah,
I at least with this it's licensed, and I can.
Yeah. But it's good.
Covered.
It's good. Yeah.
But I think it'll look great. It'll look great. I did want the Star Wars one, but they sold out of that one. And on secondary market, they're going for stupid money.
I was always a huge fan of Pac-Man. I actually hacked. I hacked MS Pac-Man. I called it MS Pac-Man Android, and I turned MS Pac-Man into more of a robotic-looking thing. And instead of the fruit at the bottom, where you have what was the order you have? You had, I can't remember what it is now. But you had about 5 or 6 different fruits at the bottom. I changed them all with this hack. So instead, you have like a spanner, you have like a screwdriver, and all this stuff, and it worked quite well. And it was released on. MS Pac-Man, no, Pac-MAME originally, but I know that it's still out there. There is a ROM emulator called Taraco, which runs it. if you're into all this sort of game stuff. So, and it was done 22 years ago, but it's got my name on it and the date I did it, which is really cool.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, is that?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll
send you mine then.
I'll tell you what I'll do. If I remember, I'll send you a screenshot of it, and you can see it.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, all right. If I remember,
I'd appreciate that. But I looked into the world of one-up arcade fandom, and bloody hell, it's crazy, man. It's like people are building their own arcades now.
Yeah, well, people are getting very knowledgeable.
I'm serious. Yeah. Like, there was one guy I watched yesterday when I got in. He's got over 25, 30 of these one-up arcade things from the tabletop to the stand-up, all in a room, and he's put up arcade lights.
Oh, so it's like a proper arcade in his own house.
Yeah, it's to recreate that feeling back in 80s.
People are so creative out there.
Yeah, well, the technology's there now.
Yeah, because it's also because the technology's there. It's affordable. It's still expensive, but you can do it. You can do it.
But what we're interested about it was when he went into the room, it was dark, but all the machines were on. All the different machines.
So all the glowing from the
yeah.
I love that.
I don't have the room to have 30 machines. You know what I mean?
I can't help.
They always seem to do in America. They always have like a room, don't they?
I think it's a
like
shame.
A basement, you know what I mean?
I think it's a shame that modern arcades. I mean, you still get arcades, but I don't like. I'm not a modern gamer at all. I like games to be short and sweet. That's why I liked 80s games, and also 90s. Like I used to have I liked to have ZX Spectrum 128. Then I moved to Sega Mega Drive. Then a Sega Mega CD, and after the Sega Mega CD, I did a few games on the computer.
I bought a
That's
Jaguar.
when I went off it. Yeah,
I bought a Jaguar, but they never took off, and I traded that in for I think it was a Super Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah,
and then I ended up with N64.
Yeah,
and I think it was after that I sort of dropped out of it. I dropped out.
I've gone out of it now. I've
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I mean, I
only bought one of them because it had a DVD player.
That's right.
You know, that's why that sort of drew me back in.
Yeah,
I've got an Xbox Series X, but I like driving games. I like to just drive around. I'm not really bothered. I tried the online playing other people thing. Couldn't do with it.
I played Grand Theft Auto. I remember the original Grand Theft Auto, which I loved. It was like an overhead view, and of course the modern ones you actually really right in the car and you're getting out of the car. But the original Grand Theft Auto was great. It was good, and like if you nudge somebody, you hear someone say "piece of shit" and stuff like that. It was just really funny.
Well, I got mine off Amazon in a sales. That's why I bought it. But they had Outrun. They sold out. You remember Outrun?
Oh, I know. I can't visualize it, but I know.
It's like you're in a car, but on the cabinet it had gears, pedals, and a steering wheel.
Happy days, eh?
And Brilliant. It did look good.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm happy with what I've got. It's end of week. You've got to build it, you know.
Yeah.
It comes flat packs, yeah.
But as a link to science fiction, there's a lot of shows which are coming out based on arcade games. Fallout, which I've not seen yet. The Last of Us, which I have seen, which I really enjoyed, was based on the game. So it's funny how games are inspirational for science fiction content in some ways.
Well,
some
I
work,
think
some
don't. As a display piece, I think it'll look good.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, with game like running in background when you come in and.
Yeah, I love that.
And I will mess about with it, you know. But I'm on the game one. I'm not buying like.
No, I know, but I think it's a really cool thing to have.
Yeah, I do. I mean, who wanted their own arcade machine?
Well, I used to have a fruit machine. I used to have a Simpsons.
I always wanted one of them.
I had a Simpsons Duff Beer Guide machine, and
did you put money in it then?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so like a money box in it.
Yeah, it was exactly a money box, and it was great fun.
Brilliant.
When we moved house, I sold it because it stopped working, and I managed to get someone to buy it off eBay. But I got a lot of years out of it, and it was great fun. It was really, really good.
Did you have to buy light bulbs for it inside.
Yeah, but I used to have a mate down the pier. I used to know. He used to give me some bulbs from there, and he was really good. And you'd have to open up the front of it, and you could change the. I did all sorts of stuff in it. You could change the hopper level, and you could change the amount it pays out. It's really, really fun. It's really good to say I've had one. I miss it actually, but I had it for a long time, and it was good. So I suppose we better sort of talk about some sci-fi that we've been seeing this week. So, Star Trek Discovery is still limping along now. How do you feel about it? Go on.
So I watched both episodes Saturday night, and I thought I actually didn't mind them. I thought they were quite enjoyable. They weren't brilliant, but I did. I like the thing about, you mean the revelation of the brain being blobby type people?
Well, they're kind of struck me as being related to the founders, and that's people are saying.
Thought, yeah.
Some people are saying that maybe that's why the founders and the Breen formed an alliance at the end of the DS9 season, because they were.
But they're not proper shapeshifters.
No, but they had elements which were similar, and they might be that the founders, because they just hated solids, might see the Breen as kind of like a distant cousin to them or something.
Possibly.
And
interesting.
I think that kind of worked. It kind of worked for me. I like it. I like the idea that they have two faces, and I don't know which one is which. Is Mole? Which one's the female? Is that Locke, or is it? I can't remember. Whichever one it was.
Who's the female?
So Locke then is the one, and he has two faces. So he has kind of like his natural look, but he can also form, if he takes his helmet off, more of the solid one, which I think is probably. It's probably like a harder thing to sort of maintain.
So the cost, I think it keeps them solid, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be.
Keeps like a shape for them.
I think it is a way. I think it's supposed to be like a refrigerator. It's supposed to be cold inside them. I don't know.
I have a bit of a query now, and this came to me when I watched it with the time bug.
Oh, let's do the time bug again. Yeah, go on.
Right, the time bug. Right, now let's go back to Enterprise. Temporal Cold War. Right. Yeah. Temporal Cold War in Enterprise.
Yeah.
Discovery is set after the Temporal War, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that means when they were having the Temporal War, they didn't have any warp drive. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but that's what well, it's true. Because the Temporal War, right, even in Voyager with the time ship, right, that still using dilithium crystals, and the burn happened several hundred years before, and they only got most of that set back when Discovery turned up. Well, so the Temporal Cold War, there were no dilithium or starships flying about.
But is the temporal...
So then you go into the war of the 26th century, the pattern is it 26 with the Enterprise.
Well, it's 29.
Not with the Enterprise J.
Oh yeah.
The battle in the summer, that battle in the future.
Yeah.
The burn probably happened just after that. But they've gone and sunk themselves there, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, but didn't the Temporal Cold War involve different timelines where certain things happened?
But starships didn't have any. Where Daniels came from, there were no starships.
Yeah, but did it happen? Well, yeah, but there was one time where we saw Daniels on Earth or something, and the whole of the Federation was destroyed. It might have just been one aspect, one.
Well, I don't think Discovery's gone into future. I think they've gone into an alternative timeline.
Yeah, but you know what people are saying? They're saying that Discovery is already an alternative timeline because
I think it breaks
the Enterprise doesn't match the original series Enterprise. Well, it looks different.
But I think Discovery's gone into another timeline. I think it's one of the parallel future.
You mean when they went to the future?
Because explain to me, yeah. Daniels in Enterprise, he came from the 30th century, wherever, right? They had no warp drive starships. But then they were all flying around through time having a temporal war.
Unless they use quantum slipstream or something.
Well, he does make a good point. Unless I'm wrong, this all came to me when I was watching it. I could be wrong, and this is the quandary. Anybody watching this podcast,
but they might be using quantum slipstream drive. They might be using transwarp
well,
drive.
They didn't when Discovery got there, did they?
Yeah, but maybe then they were knackered or
Something. Starfleet were like a garage.
Yeah, but maybe over the last centuries they had a very limited resource for slipstream, which was more in the Temporal Cold War. But by the time that Discovery got there, that the elements of all that are broken down to this just really.
Yeah, but Discovery set after the Temporal Cold War. That's confirmed. They confirmed that. They confirmed it when they got there.
I would say it's more likely that it's just the writers have not done their homework properly.
Right then. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I just thought I'd like to point that little detail out. But all in all, it was a good episode. I enjoyed both of them.
So, obviously,
spectacular.
The first one was based a rip-off of Shattered from Voyager, where
definitely.
It was almost the same. I mean, it was just you could go around that one had different parts of the ship had different time zones, whereas this one it was jumping in the ship to different bits. But it's all right. I didn't mind it. I liked seeing the old. People were saying that it would have been great to see Lorca come back, even for a cameo or something. Didn't happen. Actually, both these episodes that people are saying have been bottle shows to save money, which might hopefully it'll give us explosive.
I think because I thought that.
The first episode was just literally using the same sets, going around, jumping from different time zones. The second one, they just went onto the Strange New World sets and used all the facilities over there.
It was like Stargate when you got there.
Yeah.
Let's go over the other episodes and put this mystery together.
Yeah.
Basically, we've ran out of money.
So that might be a good stead.
Yeah.
Never get the season shorter as well. So I'm hoping it's going to have quite an explosive series finale.
It's episode 6 this week, isn't it?
Episode 6 is going to be a Prime Directive episode. I know that. I've seen the trailer for it. It looks all right. I am enjoying the season. I think this is definitely the strongest season I've seen so far since season 2.
I agree. What I've seen so far, apart from Janelle, was terrible.
Apart from the third episode with the Trill one, that was apart from that, I'm quite happy.
It's not been too bad.
I'm quite happy with it. It's going fine. I wish it well.
I still think my prediction is that second in command dude.
Not Rayner.
He's going to betray them.
Yeah, I like his character.
I can't gel with him either.
But he's paralleling the captain in Card Season 3, who was also grumpy, but he became kind of like a sort of thorn in their side. But in the end, he was a hero, and he was actually well regarded at the end. And I think they're parallel.
Maybe we'll get that. But I've got a feeling he's looking at like the military picture.
Yeah, it might be.
Green and the emerald chain and all this.
Yeah.
And he's might have an agenda. I thought he might be friends with Marlon Locke and they're sort of working for him, but he's in the background.
Yeah, I'm interested. If you're right, though, if you're right, though, you're going to be very, very smug at the end of the season, aren't you?
Can I have permission to be smug at the end of the season then?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But if it is, if you're wrong,
Go on.
you're gonna have to sort of like admit and say yes. I sounded like a twat. I got it completely wrong. And
I will do. Yes.
Right. Okay.
I agree to that.
Right. So I look forward to that.
Those are the terms.
So I think that's going to appear in episode 188. I think that'll be when we review the actual season. So look forward to Martin's reactions to that and whether he was.
Yes.
Now
I have a big revelation.
I was going to say that to you, but say to me first. What's your revelation?
I don't know. You might be right. I can't prove it either way. I've tried digging around. Silent Green.
Oh, you sent me a poster or an image or something.
It's all over the place. Yeah.
How come I've not heard about? I can't remake Silent Green.
That's what I thought. I do because
Silent Green is a classic. I love.
Well, it's set in 2079.
Because obviously we've gone past the original film, which was
Brolin, the actor Brolin. Is it Josh Brolin? Is it? He's meant to be. What is its character? The detective.
Neville. Is it Neville?
Yeah.
No, that's.
What's the actor called?
Charlton Heston.
Charlton Heston, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm very, very curious. I don't know. I'm getting really sick and tired of films being remade, though.
Yeah, when I saw it, I thought, well, I'm not that bothered about it.
No, I really like the original one.
Well, we know they'll put in some bullshit twist, which will just make it worse, and the original one will still be superior to it.
They'll do something.
The original one had something about it, some kind of realism. I don't know what it was.
No, there's just something about it. A very powerful direction and music, and it was atmospheric.
And the whole twist of that film was just one thing. They were eating their own people at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do with the remake, but they're going to come out with something absolutely stupid. I know they are. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I hope it's not some woke revelation. I'm not going to go there, but I just. Oh, by the way, I was going to say when Doctor Who's coming back soon, I was thinking about having a tick box thing, and every week we're going to have a tick box rating of whether it's actually done. It's ticked the boxes of the.
When's it back?
I think it's the week after next.
It's not this weekend because it's bank holiday.
No, it's the week after. Although it's going to be released early on Disney Plus in America, so I think people with VPNs they can watch it a day earlier, and it's episodes 1 and 2.
Are they going to see it before us then?
Yeah, it's released on midnight. I think I heard online.
Well, that shouldn't be allowed.
But it is. And Ross.
That's because of Disney, isn't it? That's because of Disney.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's been renamed from season 14.
They shouldn't be doing that.
And they're calling it Series 1.
They shouldn't be doing that.
It's not Series 1, it's Season 14. Or Season...
But they shouldn't be doing that.
No, I know. This is for Disney's side.
So why are people paying the TV license if you can't...
Well, yeah, but they're saying that the TV license isn't paying for it to be big enough, so they've got in with Disney.
And do you know
a load of money towards it.
Well, BBC shot themselves in foot because when the minute that gets released, it'll be all over internet by 9 o'clock the next day morning.
Yeah, but
you'll be able to find it and watch it.
No, but they'll be thinking that most fans won't be doing that. Most people.
Yeah, but they will.
No, I meant to say most viewers that watch it aren't proper Doctor Who. Yeah. So they're thinking that people like us will be avoiding spoilers and whatever. But most people are like, oh, what's on TV tonight? Oh, it's Saturday.
I bet it's on my screen as if by magic.
I'm not going to mention Paul Daniels, but Paul Daniels is a mate of mine, and we can do things with magic and stuff like that.
So Tony Hart died or something. I saw something on my phone.
Tony Hart died?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah. I thought he died a few years
ago. No, you sure? No, he died about 10 years ago. I'm sure he did.
That's what I thought.
I thought he'd be about 100 by now.
R.I.P.
No.
R.I.P. Tony.
No, he'd be ancient. He was ancient when I watched Doing Morph when I was like about
that's what I meant.
1985. No.
It's like my phone. Every time I go out, my phone sends me weather reports. And they're all wrong. Last week, we're having 2 snow fronts on the way.
You're
which
getting
I'm
2
still
what?
waiting for. Snow fronts, storms.
I tell you one thing about Facebook. They keep getting these reels on Facebook every day of these rather attractive women with short skirts jumping up and down and things. Are you getting that on your reels?
Yeah.
It's very entertaining. I don't know why it keeps... it's like, okay. And it's like every day. It's like,
you have a look, Joe. Yeah. You have a look.
Why is it being sent to me like that? It's like what
I don't know. Maybe
what's the algorithm for me to have?
That's between you and the algorithm.
I know, but it's a bit dodgy. I mean, I'm not looking at anything dodgy that bad. I don't think, but it obviously thinks Anyway, I digress.
New series on Apple, some kind of science fiction called Dark Matter. I've seen bits of the trailer. It's not that series. It's a new thing on Apple.
Okay, I finished Silo, which is on Apple.
Is it worth looking at?
Yeah. It starts off good. It dips in the middle a bit.
They do them things.
But in the end, it is good. And at the last episode, I thought it was going to go one direction, and it didn't quite go where I was going. And I'm now very curious to see how season 2 goes. So I would say, it's a bit of the Picard thing where both the beginning and the ends are great, and it sags a bit in the middle. But I think it's worth your time.
Okay.
And I've also tried episode 1 of another series called The Ark.
Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
I've only seen episode 1 of it. So far, I thought it looked quite good. I quite enjoyed it.
I watched something called Colony.
All right. What was that about?
Got cancelled after they made it about 4 years ago. In from Lost, Sawyer.
Oh, yeah.
He's in it. And first season, the Earth's been conquered by an alien force. And they built walls around cities to keep the humans in.
Right.
And there's like a world government, but the aliens, they're about, but they let us govern themselves, but they're watching.
Okay.
And first thing, sort of drags. It's about a family guy and all this, and anybody who were in the military or police, they all disappear.
Right. Okay.
And he's an ex-FBI special force, all that. And if something happens, him and his family get dragged in with resistance, and like you find a bit out about the alien. You've got the creepy collaborator governor character. And then season 2, it sort of like season 1's really hard work, right. But season 2 it goes up a level, and they get older one of aliens, and we don't see them. We see the body, but we don't. Season 3. It's a totally different ball game. You get answers, and it all starts kicking off. It all comes out that they're all robots. That AI have took over. There's only a few of them, and they're on the run from some other alien race. And big fleet's turned up at Earth at end.
Okay.
And they're trying to. Apparently, they've killed millions of humans, and it comes out they took all the soldiers and the people. Altered them and put them on front line.
Oh wow! Okay.
And all this starts coming out towards end of 3rd season. Then, just as you got this amazing twist, and like they cancelled it.
That reminds me. I've been watching the Sarah Connor, the Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah, brilliant series.
And I'd like to review that with you, actually.
Definitely, I'm up for that next week if you want.
Fine. Do you know what? I was hoping you'd say that. Because it's your choice, but if you're up for that, and that
definitely I'm up for that.
That ended on a sort of like high as well, and
and
I was really right. We'll review it that next week. So that was good.
But I'm glad I watched Colony. I don't regret it. It's just a shame. I would have liked to see some 4 to finish it off, but it started going somewhere in a different.
I like how the
conquerors, the conquerors were on the run from something else. And I like that. I thought this is interesting. And we did see the other aliens once. We get to see one of the battle cruisers, and we see one of the aliens. She turns up in a bunker with all human government. She kills everybody. Wow. She's like in and out of reality, like phasing in and out of stuff for aliens. Okay. And I thought, this is fascinating.
All right.
Cancelled it.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. If I check out Colony, then you check out Silo.
It's hard work. The first season, you might think, "Oh God, this is."
Yeah, but you might find that with Silo. Silo's only 10 episodes.
I'm going to give Silo a go.
When it starts off, you will be impressed, but it does. But the character actually is really good in it. Actually, the female, the actress is actually in June as well. I can't remember her name, but she's good.
Yeah,
and
I've not watched that yet. Have you watched it yet?
No, I've not seen it yet either.
I was going to watch. I was going to watch it yesterday. I thought I'm going to watch this tonight. And when I got in, I thought I'm going to watch. I couldn't bother with it. I thought it was about 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock Sunday night, and I had YouTube on, and I thought, right, I'm going to put June. I'm going to watch it. And then I thought, I can't sit through that for 3 hours.
I don't like films. You've got to be in a certain mind frame to actually be on for 3 hours. I mean,
so I don't think I'm going to be watching that for a while.
I still want to review both films.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I will watch.
I'm not watching the 80s version again though. The 80s version is shit. I hated that shit. It was fucking shite. It's absolute crap. I mean, whoever made that must have been off their face or something, like just stoned out of their face or something. I mean, that was just weird, that film.
I saw that at the cinema.
No, Patrick Stewart's in it. as well. Before
Yeah,
Star Trek.
it was quite an old Carl McLachlan as well.
Carl McLachlan, he was in Twin Peaks, wasn't it? I think it was Twin Peaks.
Yeah. They brought that back.
I never saw Twin Peaks. It was
And my
very
friend
big when it was on in the 90s, or was it?
Well, it came back. I think they brought it back to finish it off about 3 or 4 years ago, and apparently it was very good. How they, so.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it on BBC. That's the only time I saw it.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. All right,
the
matey.
trouble is,
go on.
The trouble is with them, like Silo and Twin Peaks and Lost. A lot of these things start off really amazing.
Oh God!
And then somewhere it's like the plot comes so convoluted. They haven't got.
Lost is the best example.
Get out of it.
Lost,
definitely.
We are rewatching Lost, and the family wants to see it again, and I'm trying to pad it out with other stuff and watch it at the same time. And
what's it like watching it second time?
It's shit. It's just a mess. It's just all these. The thing is, if you watch the series, the resolution is so shite.
Yeah,
that it doesn't make any. There's no point in it. It's J.J. Abrams made it, and I don't rate him very highly either. Especially after what he did with Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah.
No, so I'm not a big fan of him actually.
When I watched Lost, and I used to get to end of season, you got them like when they made the island disappear and all that.
Yeah.
And stuff. I would edge in my seat because you didn't know what were going on, and it were more questions than answers, like him who were in the bunker and all that, and the Purple Dharma Project. All that, I found it great, and then when we finally got into the 6th season,
oh God,
it just
when they
got
go into
worse.
The future,
it just
worse. It just got. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was.
I tell you one thing.
The smoke monster were just crap.
Ooh, that weird noise it made. But I tell you one thing, right? Out of all the shows that I've rewatched, I think that was the show that I've really rated. My rating has gone right down.
That's at the time.
The first time I loved it. I loved it the first time round. I didn't mind it the second time round. I think this might be the third time. And I just think this is shit.
Is this your third time you're watching this?
I think so. Yeah.
Bloody hell! I don't think I could go.
No, and I tell you one thing: I'm not ever going to watch it again.
Do you know the one thing that had me up to that was Locke and his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dad was a right twat.
And when he's fat, and he only wanted validation from his dad, and he had that lovely woman. She said, "Get rid of him.
Yeah,
he's going to destroy." And she left him. Yeah. And then we got to that scene where he threw his own son out the window, and I was like, "Are you after all that investment?" And that's what I loved about.
Yeah, this. The thing is, right? All the actors are great. It's just all these weird sub stories which are entwined, but they didn't have an answer to it, did they? It made it all pointless.
This is what I'm worried about, like investing in Silo. I'm not knocking it. You've seen it, and it probably is good. But is it one of them series where you end up watching it and you think season 1, 2, and 3 is good, and then it gets cancelled?
Well, I don't know.
Final
I'm not
season.
Yeah,
I know. But I'm just saying. Then you get the final season of the big.
The big reveal, yeah.
And then it's absolutely crap.
Right,
and you're thinking, what have I done? I've watched 3 years of this for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. I think it's really lost its reputation as well. I mean, you don't hear much about Lost anymore. It used to be, I don't know. I don't know. For some reason, I can't. I just think it's shite now. I never used to think like that, so I don't know.
Like we're going to have to come back in 5
minutes. We have reviewed it. We did review it. I don't know what we said on the actual episode. It was a long time ago.
We've got 4 minutes.
No, I know. Oh, no, we're going to come back because I don't have time to review the film. Sorry, mate. It's just in Zoom again.
No, it's good chat. We got into stuff. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. We got the time. This is great. All right, matey. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our focus of the week of a film which I've only seen for the first time recently, and Martin was not that impressed with the ending, so...
No, I wasn't.
Here we go. Let's go into our focus.
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus of the
Week. Okay, we're on. Okay, so this week we are reviewing a film from 2009. which stars Nicolas Cage. It's directed by Alex Proyas, and it was conceived and co-written by Ryan Douglas Pearson and originally attached to a number of directors, including from Columbia Pictures, but eventually ended up with something else as well. Sorry, this article is not very well put together, but it is a article about a film.
It's based on a book.
Based on a book, which now I've only just seen this film in the last month. I don't know whether you mentioned to me or it's one of those things I came across, and I really, really enjoyed it. And when I said to you about it, because what we do, we have a deal here on the Solo One Sci-Fi podcast where basically what we do is we try to take a choice of the next episode alternatively to review. So this week it's fallen to my choice, and what we can often do is if Martin really wants me to see something, then I'll tend to review it and then watch it for the following week. I mean, next week's going to be a doddle because we've both seen it already, which is Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. But Martin, when I said about it, he said, "Oh God, we're not going to review that, are we?" Something like that. And do you know? I even said to my family, I said, "Martin didn't like that," and they all said, "We all really liked it." We don't normally talk about you, Martin, but everybody in the Ball household is saying, why didn't Martin like this film? So, Martin, what was it?
I just like to say I've forgiven you all.
Why? What do you need to be forgiven for?
Well, if you like the bloody film, then there's nothing I can do.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant that you've changed your mind about it.
No, well, look, I don't hate the film. Right.
Go on.
Right, you're like. Before we get into it, you like horror films more than me.
Yes, and you like superhero movies slightly more than me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like, when I watch a film, sometimes I'm up for the sort of, I think with some things, the ending is, I'm an optimist, me. I like to say...
Yeah, you are a positive person.
I am, but let's go into the film. And then I'll explain it because you just watched it. I saw this about 12 years ago.
All right. So, as a recap from memory of just seeing it rather than reading the article,
no, I've watched clips over the weekend.
All right. So basically, it's a clever film because it starts off with in 1950s American school, and basically they want to make a time capsule to seal it for 50 years. So actually, it would have been 1959. All the kids are in the classroom. They're all going to draw or write something about what they want in the future. Most of them are drawing images of what they think the future would be like in 50 years' time, like rockets, flying cars, astronauts, robots, and things like that. But there's this creepy little girl in the school, and she's obviously not very popular. And she just draws a page full of numbers. That's it, just numbers which look random. And then it gets sealed, it gets put into the time capsule, and voila, that's the end of that. So then it's 2009, 50 years later, it's the opening of the thing, and Nicolas Cage is obviously the main star of the thing with his son who's at this school. He's got some issues because his wife died a few years before, and he's a single parent and all this sort of stuff. And the kid ends up with the envelope created by the other kids 50 years before, and for some reason it gets taken home. It shouldn't get taken home, but it is. And then the dad spots it and has a look at these numbers, and he starts to realize that something is actually quite interesting about these numbers. And basically he realizes that a lot of these numbers are dates, and after that there is also a number as well after that. And he realizes that all these numbers are actually dates of disasters. They're all completely accurate. They're all correct, even though these happened in the intervening 50 years after the original sheet was actually made. And he realizes that this is something not quite normal and quite creepy. And as the plot develops, he realizes that there are still 3 more sets of numbers which are in their future, which are near to where they are, which haven't happened yet. And so he starts to wonder whether it's going to happen. And as the film goes on, he
he tests them out. The first one is a plane crashing, and he actually sees the plane crash, and he sees the people on the plane die, which matches exactly it. At this point, he realizes that there's some other numbers on there which he doesn't actually know what they are, but in the end, these are coordinate numbers. He realizes now that he can actually know exactly. So actually, he must have realized that when he actually went to see the first disaster. So he knows exactly when and where and the number of people who are going to die. So he does a bit of a daft thing here, because the second one involves a train crash at a train station. It's not good. It's not going to be the best place to go, and this is something which I thought was a bit daft. He decides to go down there and get involved with it as it all goes off. I think he's still trying to prove to himself that it was actually it is correct, and it is correct. He obviously survives it, but it's not good. There's only one more prophecy left. And it's different because I think some of the letters are actually reversed or something, and it didn't quite get finished off because the little girl back in the classroom, because obviously the teacher thought the little girl was a nutter, just pulls the sheet away, and she ends up running away and gets locked up in a basement somewhere, and she starts scratching the numbers on the basement door, and eventually she gets stopped, and that's the end of that. And Nicolas Cage's character realizes that these final numbers are very informative about what will happen with the third and final premonition. And of course, as the show progresses, there is he encounters a lady who's got a daughter, and the daughter gets on with the son, and she gets involved quite quickly into the film. Because it actually turns out that the lady is the daughter of the creepy kid from the 50s. So it's I don't know if I explained it very good, but it is all sort of done in a way which makes sense. And he realizes that the third premonition is not a good premonition. It is basically the end of the fucking world. So he's only got a short time to do what needs to be done, and he works out that the last coordinates are actually a place which is directing some sort of rescue or something. He's not quite sure, and he realizes that basically there's a chance for some of them to survive, because that when this shockwave from the sun going supernova hits, then everyone's going to die. And as it goes on, the daughter of the 50s kids, the mum, she dies off. And in the end, what happens is that they go to the coordinates where it's actually left, and it is actually an alien message. It is basically that they want to save some of the children of planet Earth and basically move them to a planet to save them. But no adults can come. The dad can't come along. By the way, at this point, this is spoiler. By the way, in case if you've not seen this film, it is a bit of a spoiler. I should have said that 10 minutes ago. And in the end, basically, the Earth is destroyed, and the kids. We see about several ships leaving different parts of the planet. They all fly to this planet, and they all sort of just left there. I don't know how they're going to survive, but they've got a chance, and that's basically the film. How's that for a review or synopsis?
Nothing wrong.
You look really bored now. You think, what the fuck?
I'm not really bored. I'm not really bored.
Has that refreshed your entire memory of the film?
No, yeah. Look. The film is utter bollocks, right?
Why is it utter bollocks? Why?
It's utter.
No. Why?
Do you know?
It's utter bollocks. That's a review.
Do you know? I knew this week were coming. I've dreaded this when you discovered the bloody film. I've had to sit through and watch bloody clips of it to get my memory up to date with it.
I've just given you a lovely.
Your review were perfect. There was nothing wrong with your review, but the film is terrible.
So should we just wait it and finish then, shall we?
Right, and next week we'll be covering
Terminator. Go on.
No, right. I remember I was in the cinema in 2009 when that came out. I remember seeing trailer with plane crash and the codes and knowing and it looks interesting. And there was another film out around about the same time.
Final Destination.
No, it's the one where everybody's killing themselves and it's nature rebalancing.
Oh, that sounds like something.
M. Night Shyamalan directed it. He sort of do all these type of films out at the time. And so I remember I bought it on DVD. I bought it and I got home and I watched it. And it was interesting. Look, the film, look. I'll take half of utter bollocks back. So
it's only one bullet now.
Yeah, it's only one bullet.
All right, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I watched it, found the concept fascinating, right?
It is.
That was interesting. The time capsule, the creepy kid, all the standard things. But where's it all going for the big payoff? Then, so he figures it all out. Load of running around, meeting people, the world, disasters happening. He's running about, but he knows he's got to get to this destination, right? Because the kids are being affected.
Yeah.
And after like two hours of him running around, right, lost his wife, met that woman, and then suddenly it's him and Kid, and he's got this very powerful relationship with Kid, right?
Yeah.
Right, it said the kid's his life, and after everything with destruction going on, they finally get to that forest, and there's a UFO and a fucking grey alien, right? And it's like.
Sorry, you do like science fiction, don't you, Martin?
I do like science fiction, I do, but after all that, I had to sit through an hour and 20 minutes and to get to that scene, and he can't go with them.
Yeah,
it's like aliens like that with its hand, like you know, we're taking your kids. And sorry, mate, you can't contaminate what's
that was the point. They didn't want the survivors to be contaminated.
Yeah, I know.
That was the reasoning.
Yeah, but these kids they get dumped off on the planet.
Yeah.
Left there just to survive. I've seen when little kids with little girl and there's all
and the bunny rabbit. She took the bunny rabbit.
And the fucking bunny rabbit. Well, that's
the rabbit. Yeah.
Wait till that starts breeding.
Yeah.
Right. And it finishes there. And like now, let's go into this. I'm a 10-year-old kid. My old man's done all this for me.
No, he was older than that. He was about 14.
All right, he was all right. He's a bit older, right? So.
Got to be clear. Got to be specific. Okay, go on.
Okay.
14.
Right, 14. So you've got this close relationship with your dad, and then you get told, "Look, I'm sorry, son. Like I can't come with you because they won't allow it, and I'm gonna go up in flames with everybody else on planet Earth." And you're going to get dumped off on a planet with a load of kids, right?
And there's a nice tree on the planet, again. There's a nice tree on the planet.
Oh, yeah. Well, kids aren't going to last long on there, are they? Yeah, I found that his father should have been allowed to have gone with them. They would have had some adults to go with them.
Let me ask you a question. If the planet... In the planet at the end, when they get off the ship, they're looking at the big tree, and it's the weird sort of alien plants and stuff. And then you don't know what the fuck is going to go on after that. Now, I do concede that. Do you think
okay.
Yeah. But do you think that you would concede it would be better if you could see like an alien civilization sort of welcome them and they're going off to this futuristic alien world to be part of a new society rather than just left on their own with a tree?
I would have preferred... Like,
I know you wanted Cage to go along, but he's not going along. He's buggered.
Right, no, he went off. Right, Nicolas Cage is gone.
He's
right? No, he's gone. He's gone. Right.
He's toast.
So they dump a load of kids on this planet, and then the aliens fuck off.
Yeah. Well,
right, now let's get into the other side of this. The aliens want to reset the human race with a sense of innocence, right? Right, now there's going to be a load of kids that are traumatised that have lost their parents.
Yeah, they probably won't be a happy bunch, will they?
Not really. There's going to be mental health issues and all kinds of other things. Where's my mum and dad?
I mean, they won't be they won't be feeling like they've watched Mr. Tumble on CBeebies or something.
You're not going to stand there with Rabbit and little girl staring at a tree like, well, what are we going to eat in next hour? Unless the aliens are there guiding.
But there might have been lots of food behind the tree.
What you mean? You mean a pound?
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe they've got sort of like maybe the plants are sentient. Maybe they've got plant pound shops or something.
Well, it's just for me. I thought the concept. I'm not knocking. I thought they take the best of humanity, right? They take the certain people they can link with psychically. They're the ones that are going to build a better world. I get that, but instead, poor Nicolas Cage. Well, I know he's gone, but all the other parents stand there going, waving the kids off. And then they're taking off up in a big spaceship.
Well, maybe
they're dumped on a planet.
We never saw the other ships. It might be that they just didn't like Nicolas Cage, and he was the only bugger that didn't get on the ship. It could be that they thought, "Fuck him, bollocks to him. We don't like him. He's got bad breath or something." And all the others, all they had their parents with them.
No, I get it. With let's reset society and start. Let the human race make a better job. But it wasn't their fault the planet were going to blow up anyway. Wouldn't it have been better to save the best of humanity?
Yeah.
Them poor children. Unless the aliens are going to be there, or do they advance them, or are they just left on this planet to survive?
Maybe you're supposed to realise that basically the aliens were intelligent enough not just to literally dump them, and that they will have a plan for their survival, whether it's both physical and mental.
Will have a plan.
But it wasn't. I will concede that it wasn't addressed, and it did need to be in hindsight.
I didn't, and that's what annoyed me.
I can understand
but
that.
But the other theory is that the children might have had special psychic abilities. They were like the next step.
Oh, you mean the next evolutionary
path?
Okay, now that makes sense.
And then they got this world and
because
these abilities develop.
In natural.
It kicks in on this planet, and they can survive.
Sense.
But that should have been explained. Instead, we get there. That's why that film annoys me.
So you're
I can't do it with films where there's running around for 2 hours, and then finally after 2 hours we get nothing.
But
because the film is interesting,
but
you're engaged with it.
But some films are sometimes left in a sort of a bit of an unspecified end state for us to be sitting here on a Monday night talking about this film on a podcast 15 years after it was made.
That's true. That's true.
And you just thinking, yeah.
Well, I'm not reading book. I'm on Wikipedia. I'm not going to read.
No, I mean, actually, you could probably Google it. But
that's what I mean. Maybe I'll read it in 5 minutes.
Maybe the book adaptation actually has a much better explanation about what happened once they got to the planet.
Maybe it does.
It might be. It was just a film version.
It should have been put in the film. I think there should have been a bit more. It's what it was. He did all that for his kid, and then he just went up in a puff of smoke with the rest of us. It was like, do you know what I mean? Oh, like, hang on, I've just been through all this disaster and people and trying to get to this place because all these kids have got this link to get there.
Yeah.
And you've got this fucking alien, right? Oh, like, you don't, I mean, for all you know, look, we're just taking them to eat. Do you know what I mean? Like, that we're going to take them all on spaceship and we're clearing off. And he'd been through all that.
So basically, like hot dogs or something for these sort of like space plants.
Yeah, remember To Serve Man in the Twilight Zone? It could have been that. I mean, at least if you'd have got that, you'd have known. Do you know what I mean? But you did. They got
they left it. They left it open to interpretation and made Muppets Like Us 15 years afterwards be talking about it. That's why they did it. They felt.
I've said they felt. Once, I never want to watch it again.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation.
I like it.
I know you. Yeah, I like it. I respect that. I do. But to me, I had to sit through 2 hours utter shite of him running about.
No, but you only thought it was utter shite because of the resolution. It'd be like not going back to Lost again when that resolution was utter shite.
Well, that's what.
But that's 6 whole seasons. That's whole. But this is only 2 hours of your life.
Yeah, no, but it's all that running about everywhere. These relations. I mean, they really went into a relationship with him and his kid. Now, if I were him and that were my kid, I'd have punched that alien and said, "Look, I'm going."
It's him in the Space Goonies, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would. Yeah, you know, the aliens should have let the parents go with them. If they're benevolent, right? they would have done that. I get that resetting the human race. Children are innocent. That I get that message in the film, but maybe there was some. They
might have had a plan, though. They might have had a plan to educate them without previous human intervention. It might be a plan. That's why they.
But what about the parents? What about the parents? I mean, it was like that other fucking thing I watched years ago about that robot kid. Fucking went on for hours. Man.
Robot kid, what was that?
Yeah, the robot kid. I suppose you want to cover that one, don't you?
Well, this is what we do.
That one, well, we'll have to do it. It's about a kid. AI, it's called, I think. They made it years ago about a kid who's a robot, right? And they create a kid, this family, and then something happens to the world, this apocalypse, right? Yeah. And they bring the kid, they find the robot kid, and these aliens activate him.
Oh.
And like they bring his parents back for 24 hours. Like that's it. And it's a robot. It went on for hours. Judge, honestly, I sat through that shite. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Don't get me started on Bicentennial Man either.
Oh, who's in that? Was that Robin?
I think it's Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But I think the film, Jude Law were in it as this, like, we're all set in future. And it's one of them films where I'd maybe right, I get it with some stuff you don't want a positive outcome. Do you know what I mean? But then you've got to justify that with why that has been allowed. And I found in knowing that ending wasn't justified for me. It just wasn't justified. I know where you're coming from, and I respect what you're saying about a new world and all. I get that. But these kids, he had such a powerful relationship with his father. His father would not let him go. All right, he would have done, because there is that side. It's sacrifice for his child.
The justification for me is that if the aliens hadn't come along, they would have all been destroyed anyway. It was going to be something which couldn't be stopped. The whole revelation is that at least something of humanity is saved, even though it is not a good what's the word? The best way of working it out. It's not the best solution, is the word I'm trying to think of. The whole purpose of it is that if the aliens hadn't come and saved a tiny amount of evolved people, then it could have just been a disaster movie where they all die at the end anyway. You know, I mean, I've seen.
No, that'd make it worse. I mean, after all that, and then,
but the idea that basically that a person, no, it could have been done in a way that the person, Nicolas Cage's character, well, look, he knows the world is going to end, but he has a very, very short window to make the most of those short few days, whereas everybody else wouldn't know. Now, whether it's better to know about your doom or whether just to actually happen hours after it all, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm always like apocalyptic films. I've always
I do. I mean, like Soylent Green. I mean, I found the ending.
Oh, Soylent Green is stronger than this. Soylent Green is stronger.
Oh yeah. But I mean, the ending justified. The film is very.
Yeah, but it's still a downbeat ending because in the end.
Of course it is, but it works, doesn't it? It works, doesn't it? Yeah. And that's a Planet of the Apes too.
Yeah.
You know, when he puts his hand on detonator.
Yeah, beneath the Planet of the Apes episode. Yeah,
it's the point. Yeah. And that cheesy voice comes over a planet, green
Once
planet.
Upon a time, there's a planet on Earth, and now everybody is dead.
And nobody gives a shit.
That was the strangest ending. That narration at the end of that film was the weirdest thing I've ever heard in a film ever.
But it worked, didn't it? Because
Once upon a time, there was a planet called Earth, and now that people on that planet are all dead. It just got quite dead, and that's it. And
that's what I mean.
That's a great movie, that. I know we reviewed it.
But the point of it is, them endings are justified.
But so you prefer that than them running a plant with the space plants and the space trees?
Well, I think they'd have had, I think they should have been a bit more given away that the aliens I assume the aliens were benevolent. They would
supposed
stick
to be a
around
cryptic
and
ending.
them.
It's supposed to be what's going to happen. It's supposed to be. It's like the end of the thing. You know, like the end of the thing when they're left. But you don't know what's going to happen. You've got two survivors. You wonder whether one of them has actually already infected, or they could both be infected. And also,
both can't leave. They can never leave there. Both of them.
But I mean, they will. I mean, they're whatever. I mean. Actually, that film, I mean, it's going to continue because people are going to look for the survivors and they're going to find the dead bodies. They're going to take the dead bodies back, and if one of them's a thing.
Well, nobody's dead made a sequel to it.
No, I know, but I mean, this is this is nothing on the strength of the thing that. I still like it. I still think.
But films like The Thing should be left. They shouldn't.
Oh yeah. Don't never make a sequel to The Thing.
No,
but they can't make a sequel.
But the payoff of the story for that and the twist at the end, which one is it? Because it is one of them. You know that, but both of them can never ever leave there.
No,
they can never leave. It doesn't matter. Even though he's the hero, he can't leave.
No,
because you don't know, it could be him,
and he could be infected. He might not even know he's infected.
But the storyline, what I'm saying, the build-up of all that, I love The Thing. It's one of the greatest films.
I know it is one of the best sci-fi films ever in history.
You know, and the build-up to it, that's your payoff, like the Planet of the Apes movies, or them type of movies where you get that negative ending. So the story makes it worth the payoff.
Yeah.
But I found with Knowing, you didn't get that.
Yeah. Do you know, that's a very fair evaluation, actually. I do respect that, seriously, Martin, actually.
That's my point of view.
Yeah, no, and I do. Yeah, and I respect
that you like the film. Some people will.
Yeah.
But for me, look, the film is. I enjoyed the film. To be honest, when I watched it first time, when I saw it, I was very impressed. And all the running about and all that. But when I got to the ending, the payoff was not worth it for me.
Yeah, so you feel a bit like Lost. Go back to Lost.
I felt a bit cheated.
Well, look,
there would a film like M. Night Shyamalan, he's a weird director, where everybody starts killing themselves across the world.
That sounds familiar. It rings a bell.
The people jumping off building, and they don't understand why it's happening. And it comes out at the end that nature is correcting the balance of life.
I'll tell you one thing. Malcolm Patterson always texts me on Thursdays when they go out on YouTube, and he tends to put comments as they're playing. So he'll be listening to me talking about him right now on Thursday. Malcolm, please, mate, can you text me whatever this film is, and we'll check it out, please? Thank you, Malcolm. But anyway, look, I still think it was worth a watch. I suppose it's ratings out of 10 times. So I
forgot the other thing. Would you have it in the collection?
Oh yeah, I know you wouldn't. I would.
No, I won't. No.
Okay. Do you want to do the rating out of 10 first?
Gonna give it. Well, you're gonna be disappointed.
I don't mind. This is a free. You know.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Fair enough. This is where we are this week. It's where we are this week.
That's quite a big separate from us.
It is. It's big.
That's fine. We're not close to each other. We've got our own opinions and stuff. So that's actually been a real fun one, actually, Martin. So thank you, mate. I do appreciate you coming back and spending your time reviewing a film which you were not that impressed with. But I do think I think it's definitely worth a review at least. And I'm glad that you.
I'm gonna look at the Wikipedia book thing and see, like, if there's any more.
Yeah, why not?
I'm curious now. I'm curious. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Well, look, we're going to finish now. I don't know what's going on my phone. I had all these things set before we started off, and all of them have disappeared. We've been doing these AI Panavision 1950s things, and I came across
they've released a new one today.
Oh, no, but there's another guy doing one which you are going to like, and I'm going to put at the end of this one, and I'll put a link to the original, so that the original, go back to wherever they're from.
The new one got released today.
Well, what's your one? But I'll tell you what we're going to show.
John Carter of Mars got released.
Do you know what I'm going to show?
Which one?
Predator.
Oh, I saw the Terminator one the other day.
Yeah, but this is another guy. There's not just the one guy that
right.
Other people are doing them now. These are all suddenly cropping up all over the place.
Well, how do you do them? What do you do?
I've not seen it, but I'm gonna actually.
Is it some kind of AI thing?
No, it's exactly the same, but it's not the same guy that did the ones that we've been reviewing. This is another guy, and he did a Predator one. And
does he do them himself, or is he using AI?
It's the same thing. These are all the same format. These are AI created with a cheesy kind of 1950s dialogue in the background to make it look like it was made in 1950s rather than 1980s.
It's fast, I love it.
I know. Yeah, which is why I think we should put these at the end of some of these shows, because even in audio you can actually hear the narration. It's just fun. So I think we'll do that.
Okay.
So next week we'll be back with Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles Terminator, which I enjoyed a lot. I'm going to give that a rewatch this week actually, because it's only 2 seasons, the guy in it who plays the Terminator played a really, really good character on Fear the Walking Dead. I like this actor. I've only seen him in these 2 things, and he's very good in both. So I'm going to enjoy rewatching that this week, and we'll get a review next week. So Martin, thank you very much. Been a good show, and we'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Live long and prosper.
In a world where danger lurks in the shadows, where the line between hunter and prey blurs, one elite team is about to face their greatest challenge yet. Welcome to the heart of the jungle, where the rules of survival are about to change. Meet Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, the fearless leader of an elite military rescue team. With nerves of steel and a tactical mind, Dutch is ready for any mission. Alongside Dutch is his loyal team, each with their own specialized skills. There's the sharpshooter Mac, always ready to take the shot, and the wise-cracking Blaine, who never backs down from a fight. But when their mission takes a deadly turn, they find themselves hunted by an unseen enemy, the Predator, an extraterrestrial warrior with advanced technology and a thirst for blood. Now, Dutch and his team must use all their skills to survive in a deadly game of cat and mouse. But in the heart of the jungle, there's nowhere to hide from the Predator. Will Dutch and his team emerge victorious, or will they become the latest trophies of the Predator? Find out in the ultimate battle of survival in Predator.